Good afternoon, everyone. It's April 9th, 2019. As I said in my previous video, if you happen to see it, this is going to be something I was going to cover, and here we are. NASA warns catastrophic supervolcano poses bigger threat to mankind than an asteroid. This is from Max Slavo. Now, before we get started, I'm nearing my 1,000 sub mark. And each time this has happened in the past, my channel ended up being banned for one reason or another. Literally overnight, each time they would find something to give me a strike over, and then by morning time the next day, they would find 2 more strikes in my playlists. That being said, you could be a tremendous help to me if you would simply subscribe to my BitChute channel. I don't really want to have to start all over again here on YouTube, and if I do, I probably won't do political shit anymore. I have other skills like digital music composition that I can make tutorials and shit about. So please do subscribe to my BitChute channel, and I can also put stuff up there that I would not put up on YouTube for the reason I just cited. Alright. Now, Yellowstone volcano, as probably most of you know, has had, I think it was 3 eruptions that these people, scientists, say they can confirm. One was like 1,600,000 years ago. One, I don't remember the timeline, but it averaged out to be about every 600,000 years. About. And it's been roughly that amount of time. And a lot of people say we're overdue, but the last, there's a 1,500,000 year gap between 2 eruptions, so that number is not really what I would call solid for that reason. The average would probably be more like every 700 some odd thousand years. But NASA is warning now that a catastrophic supervolcano's eruption poses a bigger threat to humanity than does an asteroid. An eruption at Yellowstone, for example, would be an apocalyptic event, one which human beings have never experienced. Now, human beings have made it through considerable amount of apocalyptic events, and human beings would make it through that. Just not many. Just not many. But humans, the species, would survive. A supervolcano has the ability to push mankind to extinction with an eruption, NASA further warned. The state agency conducted a thought experiment called Defending Human Civilization from Supervolcanic Eruptions. In it, researchers stated that a supervolcano eruption was more likely to happen on Earth in the future than an asteroid hitting the Earth. According to the Express Daily, NASA added supervolcanic eruptions occur more frequently than a large asteroid or comet impacts that would have a similarly catastrophic effect to human civilization. Jet Propulsion's laboratory researchers found that collisions from asteroids which are more than 2 kilometers in distance occurred half as often as supervolcanic eruptions. Now, many videos back, I presented this. This is the increase between 1999 to 2018 in near-Earth asteroids. If, considering this was 1999 and this was 2018, that's quite a an increase in near-Earth asteroids during that time period. Now, knowing this, knowing that we are surrounded by all kinds of shit, NASA still says the supervolcanic eruption is more likely. Now, I attempted in my own feeble way, I suppose, to explain probability in that same video, where, you know, if there's this many asteroids out there, the probability is much, much lower that will be hit by an asteroid, as opposed to 2018, where the probability increased by God knows how many percentage points. That's a lot. So if you read between the lines, and they know that all these asteroids or near-Earth asteroids and comets are out there like that, and they're still saying a supervolcano is more likely to erupt, I'm thinking probably one of these supervolcanoes are about to erupt. And from what I can tell, and I'm nobody special, but I can read and I can go back in history to see the behavior of Yellowstone. I can go back to understand that that these activities are ramping up considerably over there in Yellowstone, and it's going to erupt. It is. A supervolcano is defined as a volcano which is big enough to cause an eruption, which could project more than 1,000 kilometers. I did sucky in math in school, but it's, instead of squared, it has a 3 by it, of material into the atmosphere. The term supervolcano was introduced to describe eruptions capable of plunging the world into a catastrophe and push humanity to the brink of extinction. And I keep really close eye on what's going on there in Yellowstone. I mean, I don't talk about it a lot because, you know, I don't want to be accused of fear-mongering. But I do keep a very, very close eye on it. I check on what's going on with Yellowstone, if not every day, every other. So keeping this in mind, keeping the idea that this, according to them, is more likely than an asteroid impact. Keep in mind that this continues to worsen right here. And no matter which way you cut it, whether it's a supervolcano or an asteroid impact, looks to me like one or the other is likely going to happen, simply based on the amount of near-Earth asteroids there's thought to be. And what do you do to prepare for something like that? You know, I mean, Yellowstone erupts. That means a third of the country, I believe it was would be gone. It'd just be a wasteland. There'd be nothing left. There might be some structures standing, but you know, anybody that lived there would be dead. And then, of course, you have people on the outer perimeter of the blast zone that you know, they inhale the ash, and when they do, the mucus turns it into concrete inside the lungs. So it looks pretty grim. But, you know, fear-mongering. I can't be doing that on YouTube, so might get me into trouble. I'm surprised I can criticize the government anymore, or YouTube for that matter. Hell, it surprises me that we can know anything about what's going on. Right? So what do you think? What do you think the most likely thing is going to be? It's going to be something. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. There's something else, speaking of information, that since this is a relatively short video, I'm going to cover right now. That's not it. Where was it? It was about Michigan attempting to pass a law that man, I can't remember what it was now. Maybe it's on this one. Is that the same? A lot of stuff to cover, people. It's hard to keep it all lined up, if you will. Right there. That's it. Speaking of information, Michigan government to create thought criminal database to flag those who contradict all official lies. And that would include the Yellowstone. Okay? These people keep saying all these things are going to take long periods of time, right? And I can use this recent fungus outbreak as an example. It didn't take that fungus thousands of years to develop resistance to our antibiotics, did they? It happened in a very short period of time, evolutionarily speaking, right? So the notion that any of these things are going to take as long as they claim they are is wrong. And it's going to leave people off guard in a big, big way. People have been coasting through life as if nothing will ever happen in our lifetime because of people saying things like, oh, it'll take thousands of years. It'll take hundreds of years. You know, sometimes shit don't take that long. But anyway, moving on to this. I mean, I'm a thought criminal after all, so I should be very interested in what these people are trying to do to me. And you, if you're watching me, you must be a thought criminal as well. Come on, motherfucker. No, I'm not. I'm going to hit the first couple paragraphs. This comes out on Natural News. You know how I feel about Mike Adams and his Trump butt sucking, but they still put out some pretty good stuff when it comes to Big Brother and health shit. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nielsen, or Nessel rather, who, for all intents and purposes, looks suspiciously like a transgender, has decided to launch a full-scale crusade against the First Amendment. According to reports, Nessel is planning to create a hate crime unit as part of Michigan's government, the purpose of which won't necessarily be to prosecute hate crimes, which aren't a real thing anyway, by the way, but to actually police the speech and thoughts of Michigan residents to make sure they align with official government ideology. For example, say Flint's city government decides to hold a press conference and say, oh, the water crisis is over, and it's safe to drink it now, and anybody who says, well, that's bullshit, nothing even happened, would be one of these thought criminals. By creating a database of people who think for themselves, Nessel is on record as stating that she plans to, suspiciously like a transgender, remember that, she plans to keep an all-seeing eye on people who commit thought violations which aren't real crimes according to the United States Constitution. And some of these people, they won't be successful in what they're trying to do, but some of them will. Some of them will. And if you disagree with the official narrative on anything, from how unhealthy it is for a person to change their gender, to the timeline the scientists keep saying about Yellowstone, even though they keep on saying it's one of the biggest threats to humanity, even though activity there continues to rise, even though, and I was incorrect in one of my videos, not all the animals left, it was only certain ones, and a lot of them are dying from the poisonous gases that are arising from some of these lakes out there, and fissures. But again, questioning any of these official narratives, it will become a crime if we even last that long. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you all. I hope everyone has a great day. And remember, kill the state before the state kills you.